welcome to the BAFTAs.
I love the BAFTAs.
Very classy red carpet.
Enjoy the show. It's surreal.
It's exciting. I'm really proud of that movie.
I love the spirit around it.
To have all this is out-of-body experience for me, genuinely.
Gosh, that was crazy.
Hello, you. I'm Dermot O'Leary, the Irishman.
Hello, you and you. I'm Edith Bowman, the Scotswoman. The never, I'm afraid, to be seen or made sequel.
It won't be like that. Not with that attitude, it won't be.
Shame.
Come on, keep the faith. And this is Once Upon a Time in Kensington. Yay!
So exciting!
The two of us are reunited, and that feels so good to present the annual Red Carpet Jamboree that is the EE British Academy Film Awards Red Carpet 2020. Great title.
Now, we are here in the majestic shadow of the Royal Albert Hall, and we will be, quite happily, your Rocket Man and your Rocket Woman, zooming in on unsuspecting and some probably suspecting film stars as they make their way along, I should say, this carpet, bedecked in their finest finery, a bit like ourselves.
Nice. Now, once we have them in our grasp, we will not let them go until they have answered every last one of our questions, because we have a secret weapon. We have learnt down the years. We're armed with bags of sweets.
Operation
Clairvoy.
Indeed. Now, currently the stars are probably still on the Piccadilly line. In fact, De Niro's just been spotted at Green Park making their way here. So whilst we wait for them to arrive, let's remind ourselves of what has been a fascinating, a brilliant, a challenging, a controversial and an inspiring year in film.
And so it begins.
Colonel Mackenzie is wrong. They have no idea what they're in for. It will be a massacre.
Hello, neighbor. Jojo, my old friend. You might be demonstrating a failure to show appreciation. All right, have it your way. I like to cook.
Matter of fact, eat shit.
Smug smile.
Definitely eat shit.
Bloody disgrace you are. Sell out.
Get out.
They hand people in this world. Anybody who's different.
You'll need to marry well.
You are not married, aren't you?
Well, that's because I'm rich.
Damn.
This is our shot, Zach.
Hello.
When you bring me out, can you introduce me as Joker?
I don't want to be on TV. I want to be on Fox.
Yes.
Huh?
He's posing.
It's official, old buddy. Well, has been.
What are you talking about?
What happened?
Not a word.
Hit it.
I suspect foul play.
That was the best acting I've ever seen in my whole life.
I thought we should talk.
Okay.
Now, if any of you film devotees out there would like to tell us your incisive thoughts and reviews, or just say hi and tell us what you think about this year's films,
nice.
we would love you to contact us, and you can do that by using the hashtag EE BAFTAs, so get in touch.
Now, shortly the stars of screen and screen will be gliding effortlessly along this carpet. How do they do it? And when they do, we'll move both Fast and Furious 9 to speak to them.
Do you know why? Because when you get to a certain point of fame, you don't walk, you glide.
Oh, that's nice.
That's how they do it.
Clairvoy.
But tonight's award show is one of film's biggest nights of the year. So naturally, you'd imagine them all tucked up in bed, nice and early with a big mug of Ovaltine. Do Americans actually know what Ovaltine is, do you think?
What is this malty drink? I love Ovaltine.
Anyone got any?
Not a chance. They were giving it whoop whoop at the BAFTAs nominees party at some hole around the corner called Kensington Palace.
Now, how do we know this?
How do we know it?
How do we know this? Because we were there. Oh, yes. Which is maybe why you're a teensy tiny little bit ratchet.
True.
Tiny.
Just
tiny.
Just tiny,
Just a little
tiny bit tired. Someone ring to me crisps and Coke immediately. Immediately!
It's been a really strong year. Beautifully crafted movies, lots of really wonderful performances.
Everything from Parasite to 1917 to Jojo Rabbit.
We've traveled since the summer at film festivals together and now get to celebrate all these amazing movies.
This is insane. I'm just kind of like Leo and Adam Driver and Renee, Joaquin, you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah!
Happy to be at the Palace. I've never been to the Palace, and who thought for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood I'd be invited to the Palace?
It feels really good to be here at the BAFTAs. Just really crazy to be nominated.
To be recognised at home for a movie that is about a very celebrated British person and is made by a British team is a lovely thing.
Oh, I'm so honored to be here. It's just another place to celebrate wonderful, unique, great art.
I think it's a really important, lovely thing to be part of, and I feel really honoured to even be included in that.
It's great, you know, I mean, to be in a room with all your peers, people who you've admired or I've admired for an age, to be nominated is a great privilege, and I'm very excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely part of like the infrastructure of like British film and television and celebrating some people's, real achievements. So it feels good to be a part of it. It feels good to be included. Yeah, can't wait for tomorrow.
There's this great body that you are a part of, and it's a massive support system and something that celebrates and kind of uplifts the whole industry and everyone in it.
I'm just blessed and I feel glad that I could be here with these amazing people and amazing talent.
I mean, it's great. I'm really pleased the film has been pretty well received.
That I like to see award-wise, well, it would be nice if we won. Well, I don't know if that'll happen.
Hello.
Hello. Now, I'm told the stars are very near, but I'd like to verify this myself. So, telescope.
Wow. Really?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Foy ahoy.
Really?
No, I don't think she's here. But I can confirm they are indeed close, just yonder, where the north wind meets the setting sun. Or Exhibition Road, one or the other.
Oh, my nautical hero, that is close. So we'd better crack on with the show, and here's what happened earlier when the incredible performers from Cirque du Soleil took to the red carpet to perform part of their new show, which is on here right now at the Albert Hall, an extravaganza of light and rain. It's inspired by the richness of Mexican culture. This is LUZIA.
About those guys. Cirque so versatile, they'll be performing indoors later during the ceremony. Now, they are so bendy. How'd you get to be that bendy?
I know, lots of omega oils.
Stuff. Okay, we can hear the pitter-patter of beautifully coiffured film star feet, which can only mean one thing, Edo.
Oh, yeah. It means that the BAFTA Film Awards red carpet is officially open, everybody. It is officially open. Let's go get them.
Not a little sketch, I'm sorry.
Sorry, no worries. That one's...
Alvaro, hi Iris, how are you? Congratulations on your nomination tonight.
Thank you so much. This is like a dream come true being here.
Retablo, your film is just, it's beautiful, and I love the fact that you've brought part of the film with you. If you haven't seen it, it's a really beautiful and personal story. Tell me where the idea came from and why you wanted to tell this particular story.
Well, this story comes from a particular ingredient, which is sometimes when you idealize your father or your mother and they do not turn up like how you imagine, how do you do with that, and how do you grow up when you're a teenager searching for your own identity? And I was very obsessed with the retablos, and that gave us the geography of the film, which is in the Andes of Peru. And we did a film there, which is a story about love between a father and a son, and we're just so happy to be here.
What does it mean for you as a filmmaker to be recognised by BAFTA for, you know, outstanding British film?
Firstly, it was a miracle. Yeah. Secondly, it's like when you grow up studying film here and you see all these amazing writers and directors that you admire, and just the privilege to be near them today it's a dream come true.
Great. I love that you've brought this with you. It's so great. And is this part of Peruvian culture then, this kind of beautiful way of storytelling?
Of course, yes. This is the art craft that we do in Peru, in the Andes of Peru. And the story is about a maestro that actually is training his kid to do this art. And he's going to be the next storybox maker until one day he discovers a secret and he has to decide whether he continues being a storybox maker or not.
I encourage you all to see it if you haven't seen it, and I wish you all the best tonight in first time as well. What a great start to your career in terms of filmmaker.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Iris, you look gorgeous. Have a great night, and it's so great to see you both here. Have a great night. Thank you so much. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
Anthony, how we doing?
I'm good. I'm
looking
good.
Fantastic.
I'm looking at you guys. I'm just trying to keep up. Look at this. This is amazing, Edith.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much, sir. It's great to see you.
Thank you.
You have official duties tonight as well.
I do, yeah. I'm presenting the award for Best Cinematography and Best Editing, which I'm really excited about.
Big.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. I think it's a really cool award to give out.
Anthony, is this the kind of thing you wake up for on a Sunday morning and that you have that pit of your stomach moment where you go, it's going to be, oh my God, what am I doing today?
Yes, 100%. It's always something that you look forward to hopefully doing one day, and then when it's actually the day, you're like, oh, I've got to go and speak in front of hundreds of thousands of people and not mess up my lines.
But you're someone who does this brilliant thing across TV and film, and it's been an amazing year. So the films that are up for those awards that you're presenting for you, what's been the films that have really resonated with you and you're like, oh yeah?
For the ones that I'm... See, this
Put you on the spot, mate.
Yeah, no, this might be biased. This is like unfair bias. The films that's not in my category that I love the most are probably For Sama, because I think it's like a tragic but amazingly captured. Just the fact that they were able to capture it and tell that story is incredible and just is beyond awards. But then also Parasite, I thought that was an incredible film that spoke about social issues without being very in your face. It's kind of like it's a beautiful, beautiful film. So they're not in my categories though, but they're like my favourites of this season.
And how's the year been for you? Great year.
It's been good.
Congratulations.
It's been a bit busy, you know, been a bit busy.
That's how we want it.
Doing a few bits, yeah, that's how we want it.
We've got something for those stomach churns, by the way. Wait there.
The highlight of the year for me was, there's just been so many. The people I got to work with. I would never say this to his face, but I got to work with Paul Whitehouse this year on David Copperfield, and he plays my uncle in it. No, but it just premiered when we were filming, so we were talking about it loads. And yeah, he's a good mate now.
He swears a lot round set, doesn't he?
Oh my gosh, I've not heard so much bad language in one
Listen, we should say that's just out in cinemas now, and people need to go and see Copperfield because it's a cracking film.
I was lucky enough, right? I got an invite to the premiere, and my favourite thing about him is like everyone else is up, you know, all the actors come out at the start and there's round of applause and stuff. And Paul got on stage and went. Almost like your uncle. He's just, and he ain't got a massive laugh. Yeah. He's just got funny bones.
He's like, it's in his nature to just. He moans constantly, and I just find it even more endearing. I don't know anyone who can get away with that. He just moans and moans, and you're like, I like you more because of it.
And so, got you some sweets.
This is some
Helping
sweets.
through for the night, yeah.
Okay.
It's a long night.
Unlimited supply. Are you hungry?
This is amazing.
Yeah,
This is
good.
like the best. Okay,
Well,
cool.
You hungry?
Take it
I'm
on.
not. I had about 3. I forced 3 meals in before I
Yeah,
came.
nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Lighting
No,
that
it's good
stuff.
BAFTA
Maybe I
tactic,
shouldn't
that.
have. Maybe I shouldn't have. Yeah.
You're going to need those for later.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I
Pleasure.
appreciate it, guys.
It's great to see you. Enjoy it.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Got this.
Go and see
Yes,
David
okay,
Copperfield
my
as
line's
well.
right.
It's a great film.
Bye.
Thanks, Anthony. See you later.
Lovely to meet you.
Hi, so great to meet you.
How you doing?
Good, I'm good.
You look great, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I'm a little cold, but I'm good.
Just keep whisking. Are you hungry?
I'm not hungry. I ate a bunch of food.
That's right. That's BAFTA 101. Is you have to eat early, otherwise, because we have sweets down there if you need any. Want some candy?
I will, yes, absolutely.
Done. Stay there.
Okay.
You vegan or non-vegan?
Non-vegan.
Okay, done. I don't know, but yeah, there we go. That's for later.
Okay, thank
Look,
you.
listen, congratulations. How are you feeling?
I feel great. I'm so happy to be here, yeah.
And in terms of, I guess the movie, like having that universal appeal,
Yeah.
and the fact it's resonated with audiences here. I mean, really, it's a film, about family and culture, and to a degree, the second generation experience. And I think personally, as I'm second generation Irish, and when I was watching it, I thought, obviously, my culture's different, but the same issues transcend.
Yes, exactly. And that's who I made it for. Everybody who's, had a loved one that lives overseas and dealing with the guilt when you're saying goodbye to that person that you haven't spent enough time with them.
Yeah. I remember when my grandmother took to her bed and kind of ran the house when she was about 50, and there wasn't really anything wrong with her, but she just decided that was it.
Yeah.
But she was, and it is something about, I don't know what it's like, in Chinese American culture, where you, if it's a patriarchal or a matriarchal culture, but certainly my experience in with my Irish family is very matriarchal. Would it be the same for you?
I think so, and I realized that as I was writing the script and as we were shooting, how prominent the women are in the family. And so other people have pointed it out to me too, is that, the women are really the ones holding everything up. And in periods like this of grief and everything, the way that they deal with grief versus how the men deal with it.
Isn't it funny? I think with grief as well, the gap between death and funeral, I don't want to get too detailed on this, but the gap between death and funeral is extraordinary how different that changes between cultures.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think...
by that I mean the time it takes to kind of... The grief almost doesn't really start happening until after you bury the relative.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to say because I haven't actually been to a funeral in China since I wasn't allowed to go back for my grandfather. But I think it's, for me, really interesting to look at, what the social expectations of, like, what you're supposed to do before the funeral, what you're supposed to do after, how you're supposed to behave, whether you're supposed to be stoic or the opposite of stoic, like melodramatic about it, and the expectations from the rest of the family on how you're supposed to behave.
Especially as generations change as well.
Exactly.
Okay, lovely talking to you.
Yeah,
best of luck. Enjoy the candy.
Thank you so much.
All right, good luck tonight.
Naomi, ACKIE, you look gorgeous.
Thank you, my darling. Thank you.
And listen, I'm going to say congratulations on the Rise of Skywalker.
Thank you, darling. It was all right, isn't it?
It's all right, yeah. Oh, my Lord.
It was a great year. It's been a great year.
Yeah, it has been a great year. Do you get a chance to kind of just sort of take a breath and kind of look and see what you, as we go into a new year?
I definitely, I took about 2 weeks off of just, eating a lot of pizza, and then and then about 2 weeks I was like, okay, actually I want to get back into it. It's addictive. You really get into it. So yeah, I'm just happy to start a new year, 2020 vision.
Yeah. And then what you got to do tonight then? What's the official duties tonight?
I'm giving an award to Best Documentary.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I mean, an incredible category and some really powerful stories in that.
Always, and it's so cool to be able to give that to someone who's not only told a story but told a world story, something that's happening, something that's current, something that's important to us. So I'm really proud to be able to do that.
Fantastic. And what's the rest of the year hold? What can we look forward to seeing you in? Things you can talk about or things that you can't?
Some things I can talk about, actually. Yeah, a few little projects here and there, but, you know.
Okay, she's been deceptive.
It's the Star Wars. It trained me well. I'll never tell anyone
These are not the roles you're looking for.
Right.
Oh. Listen, it's so great to see you, and I'm so excited to see what's next. Enjoy BAFTAs tonight.
You too.
Have a good night, Naomi. Thank you. Cheers. Thanks. You look like a regal swan.
I look like a bird.
You look amazing, hen. How are you?
I'm really well. I'm really good.
Listen, congratulations. You know how much I loved Wild Rose, and to see the journey of this story and this character in this film continues, just awesome. How do you feel about the nomination tonight?
I'm same as kind of last year. I'm just generally in shock and completely unexpected, and it's just fun. It's
gonna cry, man.
It's a real honor and joy, and I woke up this morning and I thought I'm gonna enjoy myself tonight.
Well, for people who are going, I'm going to watch the show later on. I didn't know until a couple of days ago that you were going to be performing in the show, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch it because I cry whenever I hear that song because it's just so emotional. But to be performing tonight as well. How does it feel? We've done rehearsal. I missed it, which I was gutted about this morning. I was like, it's Jessie B. They went, oh, you just missed it. I was like, oh, okay. Well, how is it?
Oh, do you know what? I'm doing it with my two beautiful friends, Neil McCall and Ben Nichols.
Great.
We're sitting on a stool and we're just going to get loudy hen. And yeah, I'm just going to sing my socks off, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Enjoy it.
Yeah. Life's too short not to enjoy things.
Exactly.
That's how I feel.
Oh man, listen, can we just make sure we see you back here every year because what you do is just awesome.
Oh, thanks.
It's great to see
Same
you,
to you.
Good luck tonight. Thank you. The
you.
fabulous
Thanks.
Jessie Buckley. Good luck with the singing. Oh, I'm attached to you now.
How are you feeling?
Good, yeah, good.
When did you get the call for the Rising Star nom?
You get it like a month and a half before like New Year. So quite a while.
That's ages ago.
Yeah, no, and then you have to sort of sit with the news and sort of try and spend the next month and a half being as cool as you can. I'm like, yeah.
And not thinking about it.
And not thinking about it. But no, it was wonderful. It's such a lovely surprise, and I really like that it's not for one certain role. It's like, it's really nice. It's really nice.
If there is one role that you think over the last couple of years for you that's not necessarily cemented you, but meant more to you, I suppose, than any others, is there one where you just thought, geez, that was intense, but I'm really glad what I've got out of it?
One that I don't think a lot of people ended up seeing, but I played a young Morrissey, and it was shot for like a fiver in Manchester over 5 weeks, and I looked nothing like Morrissey, and we didn't get his music either because he's a tough nut to crack, but I loved playing that role. I loved it.
Yeah, I bet. Are you a fan of the Smiths?
I am now. I didn't know who the hell he was before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not your generation, to be fair, is it?
No, not at all. No. I know David Morrissey.
Well, he's very gifted, yeah.
He is really. Yeah.
You got some great I wouldn't call it competition, but you got some great people in your category tonight as well.
No, they're all fantastic, and
you do a little meet and greet with all of them. Here she is.
And just did he tell you he's going to be the next James Bond?
You've told me. It's all she talks about.
Really not.
It's all she talks about. Come on, give her that look. That's good. That's good. That was a very fighting with the family look. That.
I know. You can't turn your back on it. You don't know where she's gonna. She's like a spider. She's
ready attack from anywhere.
She's ready in all directions. It's really scary.
Right. Listen. Good luck tonight.
Thanks very much.
Lovely to see you again. Take care.
So great to see you.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, Mr. Desplat. It's so congratulations.
Thank you. And you still have an accent.
I still have an accent. I'm never losing it. And so do you. How does it feel once again to have your music recognised by BAFTA?
Great. I'm very fortunate. It's a great honor. I'm very proud and happy of being part of this movie because it's a beautiful, beautiful movie. I'm glad Greta is here with all the, these beautiful young actors. I'm very, very, very lucky.
What was the connection you had with the story or the script, or made you want to do this project?
Lady Bird, of course, first thing. And the second was that when I was a kid, my sisters read that book, and I knew about the book.
Yeah.
And I knew that there was something of our times in the story,
Yeah.
the way, you know, of emancipation and kids wanting to be artists, which also resonates with my family. So there, it was many things.
Was it an easy score to write?
It's never easy. There's a lot of music. There's an hour and a half of music, non-stop, wall to wall. And I didn't realize, as I was working with Greta, I realized when I saw the movie that she kept saying to me, it's like a ballet, but what is she talking about? But now, when I saw the film, it is like a ballet. The music is playing loud all the time and bringing all these kids to move and jump around together. So, you know.
Do you get the chance as a film fan to watch films, you know, to kind of step away from your involvement in films to just watch and enjoy films much?
Of course, of course.
What have been the films that really resonated with you this year?
There's so many of them. The Irishman is amazing. The Farewell is beautiful.
Oh, stunning, isn't it?
You know, there's many, many beautiful movies.
Yeah.
It's a very good year
Yeah.
for movies.
Oh, it's so great that you're here.
I'm happy to see you.
Yeah, it's so
Thank you.
great. I wish you all the best tonight, Alexandre. You take care. Thank you so much. Take care. Au revoir. Merci.
Sorry.
Doing interviews. We're not doing interviews. Yeah.
Who have you brought tonight?
My mom.
Come on, Mum, come up and say hi. Look how fierce and gorgeous Mum looks tonight. Now, did you do the wonderful thing? He was
No.
like, I'm not told anyone because I don't want to, you know. How did you feel when you got that phone call from him?
Oh God, I was in shock. I was really in shock. Yeah.
So proud.
Yeah, more than proud.
Well, listen, you more than deserve to be here, and I'm just so excited to see what's next, Michael, because, like I say, that connection that you've made with your performance so far is just extraordinary, and I wish you all the best in luck
Thank you
tonight.
so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Have fun, guys!
Thank you.
See you later. Yeah, see you later.
So where did you start with The Irishman? I mean,
Marty just had an idea that it should be very stripped down and simple, deceptively simple, because the mafia guys in the movie are quiet. And so it was very different from our other mafia movies.
Yeah.
It was a much different, and we all had to adjust to that, but once you did, it was great.
is that a different discipline for you?
Sorry?
Is that a different discipline for you?
Oh, very much so. And the poor sound editors who always love to pump everything up, Marty said, no, I don't want to hear that. You know, simple. And because he was also trying to show the blandness of the violence in the mafia, that they're not thinking of it morally. It's a job, you know.
Yeah.
So the violence is shot very simply in wide shots. It's not all kinds of fancy cutting. But it was correct for the movie because the long, slow build to the end of his life where he realizes living as a gun for hire is maybe not a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
You end up alone. It was perfect.
But it's funny you say that because it's only now you say that I was just thinking of the film as you were saying it, and weirdly, one of the scenes that just pops into my head is the olive oil and the bread scene, where it's this unspoken bond that now exists between these two guys.
And it also has a religious connotation for Scorsese, you know, the Last Supper and
Dermot O'Leary, you don't need to tell, I get it.
Yeah, no, it was such a wonderful film to work on. It was a joy, you know, and the actors, oh my God, every single one of them were brilliant, and Marty's conception for it was so strong, and he stuck to his guns. He didn't want to explain too much because he said it'll turn into a documentary about Hoffa. I don't want that. Just little brushstrokes of history, and make it about the characters, make people really feel, which they do, for the characters.
Obviously, the cast is legendary, but he had to age them artificially. Does that have any effect on how you do your job?
Actually, we finished cutting the film without de-aging, and we screened it 7 times with no de-aging, and nobody minded. So, because the actors are so good that people were engaging anyway.
For sure.
And so it was wonderful, and you know, in the long run, the de-aging all worked out fine. It was a brilliant process by Pablo Hellman and ILM so that the actors didn't have to wear hundreds of dots and 2 little cameras and a helmet. And Marty said these great improvising actors are never going to do that. So it was great.
Right, listen, enjoy tonight and best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Lovely seeing you. Take care.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's good.
Such a great film.
Well,
It's-
you were lovely about it when we spoke before. Thank you. Thank you.
But to see it recognised here in Taran and just, you know, all those little elements to it as well,
It's really important in its way because we've been doing the circuit. You go round, and it came out in May, and it seems like a lifetime ago. And all these incredible films come out and amazing performance. And you go, oh, we want to just, we want to be on our home turf, and we've been recognised, 4 times. It's really great because so many people put so much hard work into it, and Taran's amazing, the music's amazing, Elton's amazing, and so to be on home turf and have a little nod is really lovely, really lovely.
Was it an easy film to work out what type of film you were going to make? Because you've got this wonderful kind of almost fantastical element to it, you know, in terms of the specific scenes, but also the way that you were going to shoot the musical sequences and stuff. Was it easy to kind of come up with how you were going to do that?
No, is the short answer, because I'd like to say it was all absolutely mapped out and planned, but I didn't. I just took each number as it came and wanted to do something different with each one. Yeah. And then I was kind of like, oh, are they going to tie together? But what I realised in the edit was that there was a consistent element, which was Taran and his voice, that actually ties it all together. So it meant the more kind of extreme or fantastical that I went, I had more of a free rein to do that. And so I wish I could have said yes. It was all absolutely, it all went exactly as planned.
But I think as well that scene at Saturday night, like where Taran's kind of, he's almost like angry in the way that he's delivering it, and you kind of really get a sense of him as a performer. Yeah. As soon as you're there with him and you're off on that journey with him. It's amazing that he was allowed to do that. Yeah,
I mean that was the whole point of that sequence, was about the influences of a young man at that time in post-war Britain and growing up in that time, and all the influx of different influences that were coming in, and we kind of had to age him a few years as well. So and that's why it's so kind of exuberant, because it's about the exuberance and energy of youth and the exciting place that the world can be. And that was part of the beauty of the film, I think, is it allowed us to let that horse run, as it were.
And it must be also nice for you as well, seeing people like George tonight in 1917, and to see the journey that, these actors that you've worked with over the years, see the journeys that they're taking as well. Yeah. He's extraordinary.
He's a brilliant actor, and no, it does. It kind of makes you proud, because I go, well, I spotted George a few years back. He's a talented boy. I knew that. Sam Mendes. What does he know? No. It is, of course, it is, because you feel part of that journey, and that's really rewarding, because there's so much of this industry is about being able to, dare I say, not give back, but just be part of someone's journey. Yeah. And that's that's really rewarding as well, aside from all these lovely things of being nominated and all of that, but also seeing someone young and because I know that I could have used some mentoring. I'm not that I'm a mentor, but you know what I mean? Totally. Some words of advice sometimes. Oh,
it's so great to see you, and I'm so excited to see what's next. Thanks, and I wish you all the best.
You're lovely. You're always so lovely.
Have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Take care, darling.
Working hard.
Love it.
I know.
Love it.
I know.
Have a good one. Bye, love. See you.
Cheers.
Oh, I don't need a card for this, man. Your ears must have just been burning, because I was just chatting to Dexter.
How you doing?
We were talking about you. I'm great. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. Yeah, really
Congratulations.
Good. Thank you. It's an amazing feeling. It really is. It's lovely.
Well, to have this film come out, for it to have such a great response, but then for the journey for the film to continue through the recognition that it's getting with awards and stuff is lovely.
It's incredible, and it has been just the greatest journey of my life, and we've all had such a good time in the making of it and the promoting of it, and the movie's such a joyous thing. I'm so proud of it, and to be recognised in this way is extraordinary. I've been watching this show since I was a kid. A Sunday night, cold Sunday nights, and so to be here now and be a part of it is amazing.
I hope you don't mind me sharing this with people, but I had a lovely experience with you a couple of months back at a Joker screening.
Yes.
Where you were invited along to watch the film by Joaquin Phoenix.
I was, yeah. Joaquin has been incredibly kind to me over the past year or so. He reached out to me, that's what they say
He
in
loved
America,
your film.
they reach out.
He
you know.
watched your film.
He did,
was
he
telling
did,
me,
he
and
did.
absolutely loved Rocketman. He went, I've got to meet this guy.
Yeah, he sent me an email after watching it, and yeah, he's just been endlessly lovely. And to be nominated alongside an actor of his majesty is an amazing, if slightly ridiculous feeling.
I felt like so honoured to watch this meeting for the first time of you two at that screening where you were like, hey, it was really special.
It was lovely. It was a really lovely night, that, yeah, and we've obviously seen each other a lot on the circuit since, and you know, he's a great guy.
Well, listen, good luck tonight.
Thank you so much.
I can't wait for Sing 2, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's on the way. Yeah, I'm recording next week, I think.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh, we love that film. But
you.
I wish you all the best tonight, and
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to seeing what next as well, because it's wonderful to watch you on screen, Taryn.
Thank
Have
you
a
so
good
much.
night.
Have a great
Thank
evening.
You, my
Thank
love.
you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
It was terrible. It was the worst night of my life.
Look, you've even got a camera.
Now, they don't let anyone onto this red carpet. Well, they do. But we had to get level 5 security clearance before they'd allow us anywhere near it. But our award partners, EE, have certain sway in these matters. Must be a man on the inside. So they're able to arrange for radio and TV presenter Maya Jama, whoop, whoop, love Maya, to take an exclusive stroll along these hallowed fibres, which she did earlier today in an outfit that takes dressing for the red carpet to a whole new level.
And then some.
Hello.
Hi.
Quite long,
Maya
that,
was,
wasn't it?
Huh?
It was quite long, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's fine. I just had a nap. Maya was wearing the world's first 5G powered AR dress. You with me? You with me?
No.
You with me? It's less an item of clothing and more a completely immersive transformational experience. Though, if I'm honest, it did make me feel a little bit underdressed and a little bit stupid.
And confused.
Take a look.
Hi everyone, I'm Maya Jama and I am so excited because I'm about to open the EE BAFTA's red carpet for the first time ever, and I'm wearing a very special dress. It's gonna come alive. You just can't see it yet. So come with me.
That is red carpet fashion like you've never seen before. Right now, Edith has another special treat for you. I have no idea what it is. Is it that way?
Now, last year, BAFTA launched its For In the Love of Film competition, which was a huge success. So I'm so glad that they've brought it back this year. And one of our winners this year is Lizzie. Welcome to the red carpet of BAFTAs.
Hello.
Can you tell us a little bit about OSKA Film Festival that you set up?
Yeah, so OSKA Brighton Film Festival is the biggest and the only learning disability film festival in the world. So it takes place in Brighton over 4 days. And we have filmmakers from around the world come and show their films. Like this year we had 2,000 submissions, and that's gone from, I mean, we had 250 the previous year.
That's a huge increase.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think there's a real appetite for diverse talent and diverse filmmaking, and we've noticed that reflected in our audiences as well. It's not just people with a learning disability or autism coming to see the films, it's everyone, and that's so exciting to see that everybody wants to be part of that.
And you also give people the opportunity to help in terms of the organisation and the running of the festival as well.
Yeah, that's right. So we are a team of 10 people, so there are 10 learning disabled artists who run the festival, and I'm just there to make sure it
Run
all
things,
happens.
Lizzie. And for you to be recognised by BAFTA for this, for the Love of Film competition, what does it mean for you and for the film festival as well?
It's just amazing that people can see that it's a great thing and it's cool and important and it should be recognised. Yeah, absolutely. This is mad. I never thought this would happen. It still doesn't feel real.
It's happening. It's happening. What are your hopes for the festival? What would you love for to happen over the next few years with it?
Wow. I would like it to grow. I would like more people to come and see the work. I would like people to make feature films, and I'd like there to be opportunities for people to make feature films. That would be amazing. Like Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh, what
so
a film!
Good. Like more of that, please.
What a film. Zach is incredible.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if people want to learn more about Oscar Bright Film Festival and get involved or help or just come and support, what do they do?
Yeah.
Where do they go?
So www.oscarbright.org, and we're at Oscar Bright on Twitter, on Instagram and Facebook as well. So yeah.
So great to see you.
Thank you.
Who are you going to go and try and find?
Oh God, everyone.
Well, they've all gone down that way, so I suggest you go now. Lizzie, it's such a pleasure to meet you, and I'm so chuffed for you. And it's just wonderful what you're doing. So yeah, it's brilliant. Congratulations. Have a good night. Thank you. So much.
I said, you know who everybody is? Yeah. Yeah.
And John, you're also winners tonight for the Love of Film. Congratulations. Now tell us a little bit about this phenomenal way that you support cinema in your community.
Well, we run a community cinema in Waterloo, Liverpool, and it's been open since 1997 when we fought a huge battle to save it from demolition.
Wow. How was that battle? How did you win that battle?
We won that battle by getting a petition of 10,000 names to stop Apollo from closing it and making it into social security offices. So a young man, 12-year-old Paul Culshaw, and Jan got together and got 10,000 signatures, and from then it just went from there. And we opened the cinema on 18th of July 1997 as a community cinema.
And so as a community cinema, what kind of things are you offering the community? Because it's so much. It's a wonderful opportunity not just to watch film but for giving back to the community as well.
Well, it is, because what we do is we do affordable cinema, so that means people on low income can enjoy film. So they're not excluded. We also do, through our education department, with Christine Physic, we do autism-friendly screenings, dementia screenings, and we've done some fantastic projects with young children, young people up to the age of 13 to 19, film projects, exploring identity, and for the love of film.
Yeah. I believe as well that the cinema's in the Guinness Book of Records. Is that right?
Yes.
For being the shortest. What did you tell me?
Yeah. Well, what it was, it holds the world record for opening and closing on the same day.
Due to the war.
Due to the outbreak of World War II. Yeah.
Wow. There's also another brilliant fact I heard as well about a certain BAFTA-winning director who, threw his support to the cinema as well. Is that true?
Well, that was Sir Sidney Samuelson, who was the former British Film Commissioner, and we came down to see him. We knew nothing about running a cinema, and he said, if there's any help you need, come and see me. Well, we actually needed help to get the film, which was Jurassic Park Lost World. And we were told, we didn't know anything about cinema at all, but we knew it was peaks and troughs, and to get any chances of keeping open, we had to open on a high, which was the biggest blockbuster of the summer, which was Jurassic Park. So we were told we couldn't have the film in no uncertain terms, and what we did was we phoned up to Sydney, and he was in the middle of the Atlantic at the time, and it was 97, and he took it on the satellite phone, and he said, "Write me a letter, my dear," and in the letter put, "Dear Sir Sydney, we need a blockbuster." And within a week, we had the film, but it wasn't until quite a few years later we came down to see him at BAFTA, where he said it was his very good friend Dickie who got us the film, which of course was Sir Richard Attenborough.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, it's so great to see you here tonight, and I'm so glad you've been recognised for all your hard work and your work that you've done over the years as well. And long may it continue.
Oh, thank you.
Enjoy your night tonight.
Thanks very much. Thank you, Edith.
Thanks, Jan. Thanks, Michael. Take care.
I'm so sorry to have you carry my shoes. You look very low. I'm short.
Congratulations on this film and this score.
Thank you so much.
I loved it.
Oh, thank you. It's one of my favorite movies I've ever worked on.
Oh my God, really? Because you've worked on a lot of really awesome films.
Yeah, no, and I've been thankful for all of them, but this one is special in so many ways, just because what it means, what it says to the world.
Yeah.
And especially right now, at this time, there's a lot of that needs to be said, and it's, the louder we can say it, the better. So
Taika's such a unique voice, isn't he, in terms of how he tells the story, and I think we just need more voices like that.
I agree. I want to see more movies like JoJo Rabbit in the world, for sure. Taika's he's the best to be the first out of the gate with something like that. The guy is so fun to work with. He's so creative. He has such a heart to him, and he's just so silly and ridiculous, and he just makes the whole thing pleasurable. It's great.
Was it an easy score to write?
No, it's not easy. No, it's never easy, especially with the subject matter that we were dealing with. It wasn't easy, and you're always careful of not to do too much. So it ends up being a fairly restrained score, because I felt like the quieter you are, the better it was, because the picture spoke so much on its own too. So
it's great to see him recognised for this screenplay tonight as well. In terms of his writing, because I can't imagine this being an easy film to write, adapting that book.
Well, and that he wrote this 10 years ago, and he said he had wanted to make it, but he is so glad that he waited 10 years, because he's a different person now, and he's a different perspective, and I'm really happy that the timing, timing is everything, and things happen for a reason, and I suppose that's why it took so long to get it made. And he did an amazing job.
So glad you're here.
Yes, thank you.
Wish you all the best,
thank
sir.
You so much.
And yeah, just
love these
pleasure.
gloves.
Oh,
Those are
thanks.
awesome.
Thanks very much, Michael. Have a great night. Take care. Thank you. Bye.
That's great to see. Congratulations on the nomination.
Thank you.
Where do you start with a subject like Maradona?
I don't know. You start at the beginning, you try and research everything, you go all the way through, but then it felt like the key period was Italy, Naples, and so that's what we ended up focusing on.
I know when I met you before, I remember we were talking about Amy. I think the thing you said to me was, I like starting from a place where I don't want to be too much of a fan, because I don't want to have that. I want that objectivity. You don't want to get clouded.
Yeah.
What were your feelings at the end of the film with Maradona?
It's a really good question. I mean, I'm a big football fan, but I wasn't necessarily a massive Maradona fan, but I always found his life fascinating and
interesting. He's such a flawed genius, isn't it? Because Pelé is so, in many ways, so kind of crystal clear in comparison. People just, and he's a bit older, so there's a romanticism about Pelé, whereas we saw all of Maradona's faults play out so epically.
I think we saw them, but I would say I didn't really understand where it all came from. And I think that's what I'm interested in, is to understand these characters, to go back and say, well, what made them that person that we see? Sometimes we feel like they're making a fool of themselves. Then you realise if you'd been through what he's been through, you'd be probably in a worse state. It's incredible he's still around.
In many ways, I suppose he was the first kind of modern-era Galactico in that regard, I suppose.
Yeah, I think you've got to realise Pelé never came to Europe. So if you think of the superstars of football that came from Latin America, he's the first guy who came here and did it here in Europe, won the World Cup, did it with a team that's never won before, never won since. There's no one that's done that. Most players are always going to go with it, guaranteed.
Exactly. And also, it's kind of... What I loved about it was a story about Italian football, which in many ways is like, it's no other country, Italy. You know, I go down and watch Lecce play a lot. It's just a tiny team down there in Salento. And in Naples, you know, like you said, like I saw in the film, it's the poorest Italian city, and you've got the biggest star in the world going there.
It's a different time, you know. It's like the 80s was Italian football was the peak. He was the most amazing player who went and did it with a group of players that most people had not really heard of. And I think it's also the journey of his life is pretty incredible. What I'm hoping is people who didn't like him, weren't interested in football, see the film and feel something for him. I mean, that's the end. That's what the idea is, to kind of emotionally connect people that you initially have no interest in.
What's next?
Do you know, I'm going to go back to drama, I think.
Hey, great.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've done these 3 films, Senna, Amy and Maradona, and now I think it's time to go back to the fiction films, which is where I started.
And do you think that would be something that you will adapt yourself, or you'll write off from scratch, or...?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few projects I'm talking to people about, but I definitely would like to start and write a screenplay back like the old days. I actually went to film school at the Royal College of Art, right next door to the Royal Albert Hall, so it's great to be back here. This is where I started making short films, and so I think it's, time to do some of the movies that I've been hoping to do for a while.
Can't wait for that. Best of luck tonight. Lovely seeing you as always, man. Take care. Thank you.
How are you doing?
Good.
It's great to have you here.
I'm honoured to be here, honestly.
Wow.
Really, I am. It's my first BAFTAs and I'm presenting, which is...
Oh, no pressure.
Yeah,
Do you know
no
what
worries.
you're presenting?
Yes, production and costume design.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
That must have been a fun part of Charlie's Angels as well, in terms of very much kind of that being something that helped inform the characters and really play with.
Yeah, Aaron Hay and Kim Harlan did an amazing job with that. They, what was so great was it was really collaborative.
Yeah.
It was really one of those things where I kind of felt like I knew what my character would want to be in, what she would want to live in, and she brought that to life in a way that was beyond any way I could have imagined. And production, there were days when we come on set, we'd be surely not, guys. I mean, it was great.
How does it feel though for it being your first BAFTA and being here and hearing people shouting your name and it must be a big moment for an actress in your career, taking the roles and stuff aside, but with something like this?
It is. It's a big moment, and what's really important for me, I always go back to sort of the 8-year-old looking on at people who inspired me, and I hope that I can be that person who inspires other people and be here and have an amazing gown and be the representation. Yeah, it's an honour.
That's awesome. What for you've been the big films for you that you've loved as a film fan this year that you've really resonated with?
I think I've had so many films where I've been like, that's my favourite, that's my favourite. But I definitely say one side that I thought really incredibly appealed to, not only obviously an incredible performance, but appealed to a darker side of humanity that in a way that wasn't, glorifying it, was Joker. I thought that was beautifully done.
Yeah.
I also thought Parasite was a film that was an absolute, it was amazing. It didn't stick to one genre. I was always surprised. Yeah. I love a subtitle. I love a subtitle.
Yeah.
I've been saying, he said so well, if you look past the 1-inch line of subtitles, it opens you up into a whole world of film.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in that world and it feels great.
Well, listen, I hope it's everything you want it to be tonight. It's really great to see you. I'm so excited to see what's next as well for you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Great to meet you.
Thank you.
See you later.
See you in a bit.
Thanks.
My name is Niamh Alger. I'm a breakthrough Brit, and I'm an actress.
Yay.
Yes.
My name's Sarah Brocklehurst. I'm a breakthrough Brit and I'm a producer.
My name is Abu Bakr Salim and I'm a breakthrough Brit and I'm an actor.
There we go. Welcome, Breakthrough Brits.
Oh, God.
So, how did the whole Breakthrough Brit thing come about for you individually, each?
I got contacted by my agent to apply. So you apply and you submit your body of work and why you think you should be Breakthrough Brit.
And you must be like, can you not do that for me?
You feel like, okay, and then but I don't know, I suppose it's easier when you put it down into words and then you realise what BAFTA kind of means to you. And
which is what for you?
I suppose it's...
I don't want to test you with
I
this.
know, but I think it is just, it's just a wealth of talent that you get to celebrate with, and also the way in which they support their talent as well. Like with BAFTA Breakthrough, you get mentorships and they kind of support you throughout the year.
Yeah.
or you get to go to amazing events like this.
Where you're giving an award away, am I right?
I am.
How you feeling about that?
It's fine. We just it's great.
Good, well done.
Yeah. I think if I just
because normally you meet people who've been in the industry for years and they're absolutely,
Yeah, I think I'll just find someone in the crowd like De Niro, and just eyeball him for the whole thing. Yeah.
Poor De Niro's like, why is she eyeballing me? What have I done?
Intensely looking at me. I think if you went in and looked at the whole room, you might pass out.
Yes, you do. What about you? How did it come about for you, sir?
I produced a film called Animals.
I know it. Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
It's Emma Jane Unsworth's book.
Yes, and so and that was considered, my breakthrough project, and therefore, I get to be part of this amazing group of people and to have the incredible support of BAFTA. So it feels like a real privilege.
How was that for you to make, by the way?
Oh, it was incredible. I'm so proud
of it. It's a
book,
I think, that really, it's interesting. It's got such a cult following, that book.
It does indeed. Yeah, it was a real labour of love. It took us many years to get the finance together, and we had an amazing team of people, and we had an absolute blast making it. So it was really important to us to tell a great story about female friendship, about women who are flawed and messy and behave as women do, and we're really proud of the results. So
well done. And also just getting, my wife works in film, and actually just to get a film, to option a book, to then get it made, that's a victory in itself.
Thank you. It feels that way. 5 years in the making, so thanks for...
And what about you, Mr. Assassin's Creed?
Mate, I was just walking to the car and found out I got it, so I was just, kind of like one of those winnings, so yeah. No, again, it was one of those things that, again, my agent called up and said, I think you should do this, and I was like, okay, sure, go for it. And and then here I am thinking that, oh, wow, won like a lottery ticket. But no, it's just been wonderful. I've done a lot with BAFTA anyway, especially with the Game Awards and being nominated 2 years ago with Assassin's Creed. So it's just been wonderful to be also recognised within this sort of film and TV area as well, because again, that's what I'm.
When you go to act as a character in a game, I'm a big gamer. When you go to act, so how does that physically manifest itself? Will you go into a studio and with all the movements and the voice booth, or how does it work exactly?
It's the same thing it's like a mix of TV and film. It's like you're in a massive volume, like a warehouse with 250 cameras on you. You're wearing a beautiful tight lycra suit, which I think you look beautiful in, by the way. And no worries. And then literally, it's just you're doing scene after scene after scene. It's like a mix, a hybrid of theatre and film and TV.
Sounds like long days.
Yeah, it's long. I was on Assassin's Creed. I did that for a year and a half. I was just in and out of the studio in Montreal, just doing it, and it was exhilarating. It's so liberating as well. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Congratulations to all of you. And well done on having good agents too. Good luck tonight, and well done. Thank you. Lovely to meet you. Thanks. Thank you. You too. Bye bye.
Congratulations on your EE Rising Star nomination.
Thank you so much.
What does it feel like to be recognized for something like that?
I don't even know. It's somewhere in between of feeling cool about it, but also feeling extremely blown away by it. I don't even know what to say. It's just I feel really honored.
My friend has something for you here. Are you hungry?
I'm so hungry.
Are you vegan?
Vegan?
You can have some vegan ones if you're vegan.
What's in here?
Sweets.
Candy.
Candies?
Yes, you can take it for later if you want.
I love the way you say candies again.
Huh?
Say candies again.
Candies?
So cute. So cute.
Candies.
Whilst you eat your sweets.
You're melting our heart. Give me the award now.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay. Well, I was just going to ask you about Booksmart, but now seems like a really inappropriate time.
No.
Booksmart is one of these films that the more you watch it, the more I'm watching you chew. It's the worst time ever. You went for the really chewy one.
Actually quite chewy.
So Olivia has created something really quite special that I think, now it's really important, but in years to come it's going to be looked back on one of those films like The Breakfast Club and that kind of thing, that is an absolute classic. For you, when you guys were making it, when you read the script for the first time, did you have that kind of reaction to it?
Absolutely. It was one of those scripts that I just immediately fell in love with. I had never read a story about female friendship like that you just knew that on page their love was so palpable, and I don't know, I knew it was something so special, but the fact that people love it so much and the world is really, really falling in love with the movie is really blows my mind. And when people say that it's gonna be a next classic, I can't even believe it. It's insane.
But I think so much about it as well as the relationship with you and Beanie on camera and stuff, and that genuine friendship that we feel like we're watching, go through good times and bad times and real times, basically.
Yeah, and I think it also really, really truthfully represents the generation I'm growing up in, and it has so much representation in the film, and I think that's something we need more of, and it feels really, really important to be a part of that movie for sure. Even though it's like a fun comedy, but it is a really important story that really matters. Yeah.
And the thing about your award tonight for you, I mean, I know it's the writers are nominated as well, but for you, yours is voted for by the public, and they love the film. So I'm doing a little good luck, big smart dance for you.
Is this your good luck dance? Thank you.
Smart dance. Yeah, exactly. I wish you all the best of luck
Thank you
tonight.
so much.
It's so great that you're here, and it's such a great film.
Thank you so much.
Have a great night.
Thank you. You
Thanks
too.
so much. Enjoy your sweets.
Thank you. I will.
So listen, congratulations on the nomination. How are you feeling about it? And when you were filming it down there in Cornwall, did you have any idea it would be received in the way it has been?
No, not at all. When I was making it, well, when we were making it, you're not really thinking about anything other than getting to the end of the shoot, because we were working on a shoestring and we didn't have necessarily enough resources or a huge amount of money, so we were just looking forward to getting to the end of the shoot and having a wrap party and then deal with the rest of it afterwards. And
For people that haven't seen it, explain the story to us.
Well, it's a story about two brothers in a very small Cornish harbour community who are at war, really, over the future of the family fishing boat. The older brother wants to take holidaymakers out and make money that way. The younger brother wants to carry on commercial fishing, and it's the sort of the war between the two brothers. And at the heart of it, there's the older brother's son, so the younger brother's nephew wants to commercial fish with his uncle rather than work in tourism with his dad. So it's this sort of tug of love between these three men, really. But it's in a community that's being rebranded as a holiday place rather than an industrial place. So chuck into that a lot of incomers who have bought up a lot of the property, and and people have sold them the property.
And all this resonates so much, doesn't it? I mean, it's real issues you're dealing with.
Well, it seems to. I mean, when I first started making the film, I thought it was so specific to the part of Cornwall that I was writing about that other people in Cornwall wouldn't even understand it. But I've travelled sort of around the world with it, and it's the same issues everywhere you go. It's disenfranchised people everywhere who
coupled with gentrification.
Yeah, and people who don't feel like they've got a voice and they feel alienated, and that frustration manifests itself in destructive ways, which I think we're seeing everywhere at the moment.
For sure. Okay, listen, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Our fellowship winner this evening.
Yes.
So deserved, Kathleen.
Oh, well, thank you.
I mean, when you look at the films, list the films that you've been involved in since you started, they are, way back to E.T. and right up to, Rise of Skywalker and everything in between that. You've created some lifelong loving films for us film fans, so congratulations.
Well, thank you. I think that's what we all do this for, is to create joy for people, and that's pretty great.
What does it mean for you to get the fellowship at BAFTA tonight?
It's pretty amazing. I have to say, it's taken a bit to have it all sink in. Yeah, it's looking at the list of people that have gotten it before, it's a bit intimidating, actually.
I love the fact that you're following on from Thelma last year.
I know, isn't that
that's
great?
Good company
Thelma is
to be in.
fantastic, so I love that. I love that.
What is it that you love about making films?
I love the people. To be honest, I've met so many amazing people, and I've worked in England now for almost 40 years.
Wow.
And I have such close friends that I've made through the movies I've made, and writers and directors and actors, and it's just, that's, I think, what is so great about this business.
And what is it about Britain then? Because, you say you've spent so much time here working and filming the films here, the Star Wars films all been filmed here, and our craftsmen and women being involved in that. What is it we have to offer that world?
We go back to even to the Indiana Jones movies. That's when we started doing work here, and it's been, I have to say, I think the craftsmanship is really second to none. The work that's done is just phenomenal.
Yeah. What's next?
What's next? Ooh, we've actually got a couple of great TV shows we're just starting to put together here, because now with Disney Plus coming along, we've got those going.
Got more screens to fill.
Yeah, and we've eventually got an Indiana Jones movie we want to make. That's down the road, and even some things that sit right on the edge of of new ideas and new IP. So it's a good time to be creating new things.
I'm quite excited that Kylo's here tonight as well.
I know Kylo is here, but Kylo's here for a lot of different things.
So many. I mean, could this guy like do any more?
Yes,
films?
I know. He's definitely the Renaissance man.
Well, listen, you're an absolute inspiration, and it's wonderful that you're being recognised tonight.
Well,
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Have a
Okay,
good night.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, please. You know the drill. He's on the floor.
Listen, man, how are you feeling about tonight? What a lovely kind of coronation, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so nice to be nominated. You know, you put so much hard work and effort into a film, and this film was so incredibly personal for me as a producer. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life apologizing to Elton and to
Can you imagine how that would be?
And to my sons, you know, and we wanted to make an honest film, and we wanted to make, you know, something that was bold and different and brave, and just to be nominated and have the reception that we've had is incredibly.
It's a mind blower as well, I think, the film, isn't it? There's that lovely moment where I remember my wife put it on at home, and I walked in and I went, and she was just, I remember I just saw her face, she was like this. And then she went, it's a fantasy. It was so beautiful. But that must have been, I know that's what you and Elton wanted from the start as well.
I felt you couldn't accurately depict the spirit of his life in a straightforward biopic. He said,
it's not going to be 48 hours long.
But he said, my life's been so larger than life that if we do a fantasy version, it will capture the spirit of his life. And even though we are a fantasy, he said spiritually, he said, that is the first half of my life. Like, that's the real journey that I went on. So.
And I just think how Taron has embodied that character, but also weirdly since the movie as well, with the promo, you still, and you know, I've seen clips of them, you know, singing together, and that's beyond your wildest dreams, really, surely.
I mean, Taron has just done the most astonishing job. Someone said he became Elton on a molecular level, and I think that was the greatest compliment. And I watched the film, and I look at him, and he feels like Elton. He's doing his own version of Elton, and Elton said, don't copy me. He said, you know, bring to the role what you feel you need to bring to the role. But the courage it took. You know, Elton is a living icon, and also to sing the catalog. And to take all of that on, and he did it so elegantly and just put 100% into it, and couldn't have done a better job. There's no one else that could have done the job that Taron did.
Thank you. Lovely talking to you.
You too.
Al, thank you so much for being here at BAFTAs, and congratulations on your nomination.
Oh, thank you.
What do you think about when you think about the experience of making The Irishman with this wonderful collection of people?
Well, I think I was very lucky to be a part of it and work with all people I've known for years, and it was great.
What does it mean to you?
Really good script by Steve Zalian. Yeah. Sometimes we forget about the writer. He's written it. That's a big thing, you know. With a film, you start with a script.
Was that your when you? I know that Mr. De Niro kind of asked you about, you know, he was like, we got to have Al to play Jimmy Hoffa, but the script was just.
Bob De Niro really was the cog in this wheel. He took it right from the start. He went out there and got this book called I Heard You Paint Houses. Yeah. And he had the insight to know it might make a really interesting film. All the stuff that really happened. Yeah. Put it together. And he said to Marty Scorsese, I want Al to play Hoffa. So I owe it all to him, really. Really, it's great.
But you were here back in 1973 for Most Promising Newcomer nominated, and you're here, you know.
Was I here in London?
Well, you were nominated. I don't know if you actually physically got it here, but I hope you were. But you're here tonight being recognised for this part. Does the recognition mean something to you?
I think I got the British Academy Award for CIRQUE.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you're
Thank
back.
you. Yes, that's a great award.
Does the recognition from awards mean? Does it mean something to you in terms of the
award?
work?
Oh yeah, it's always it's such a perk. It's your work, but to get recognized for it, because we're in show business. We're out there.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who you are. You know, it's very special. I have to say. So.
And we're so grateful that finally you got to work with Mr. Scorsese.
Hi.
Finally.
I'm a little tearing up with my eyes, so I wear these. This is nice protection for myself. See?
But we're so glad that
I know to work with him. Finally. I worked with him. I don't know, 50 years?
Worth waiting for.
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, yes. I hope this has started something with
First
him.
of many, I hope.
I hope so.
Listen, good luck tonight, and thank you for being here, and congratulations on the film. You take care. Thanks, Al. Thank you.
So, when you sat down to adapt this to screen, how much did your own play, did you just sort of half an hour, or did you take a long?
No, it took a bit of time to think out what elements that could be opened out into, true cinema. But there were obvious candidates. There was the conclaves, the elections, which actually have never been filmed or dramatized before. So that we're kind of breaking news on what goes on behind those sealed doors.
That was terrific.
And then all the flashbacks to Argentina and stuff. So
I never got to see the film. So how? Never got to see the play. Sorry. So how similar would the play be to the film?
Well, it's very even-handed in the play between the time spent with Benedict and Francis, and there's probably more of an emphasis on Francis in the movie.
Yeah. And in terms of the discipline for you, what do you not necessarily prefer, but what are the challenges of writing a play and then either adapting that for screen or just writing straight for screen?
Well, I have a sort of inbuilt prejudice where I love dialogue, and I love it in movies. And, the old axiom is show, don't tell. I'm kind of in the tell, don't show.
Tell a little bit more, yeah.
And it sort of harkens back to a sort of 50s cinema where if the dialogue's snappy enough, it can be just as interesting as a car chase.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, you've got to have great actors to do justice to that dialogue.
Yeah.
And I mean,
we did reasonably well here, I think. Yeah.
Not bad at all.
No,
well done.
Anthony and Jonathan are amazing. Two titans of stage and screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long was that shoot? Because I presume that's something you can shoot relatively quickly, no?
No. We shot in 4 countries, so it was very elaborate. Huge production values. We built the Sistine Chapel. You don't do that every day. It's actually 4 inches or 5 inches bigger than the real Sistine Chapel. Tremendous achievement by all departments.
For me, what I loved about it the most, being Catholic as well, is the minutiae. Yeah. It's the fact that Benedict drank tango with his or Fanta with his dinner. It's those. Yeah. It's the fact that he didn't really like football, and when they sit down and have pizza together, it's those moments I really love.
Yeah, no, I'm a bit of a truffle hound when I'm doing my research and I smell something, that's a telling detail. And something like the fact that Benedict loves Fanta with his meal reveals a kind of innocence, a childish innocence in him, which I find, very charming. Yeah. So those details, they humanize these icons.
Especially I think there must be a touch of arrested development with the priesthood as well, because you do finish maturing as a person when you devote yourself to that order.
Well, yes and no. You take Francis, there's an extraordinary journey that he underwent because he was quite a stubborn, dogmatic type when he was younger. And by a sheer act of will, he's turned himself into the sort of icon of humility that he is today. He isn't naturally or wasn't naturally that way. And that's a stunning achievement. Not many of us actually change.
Great. Lovely to meet you. Thanks a lot. Good luck tonight. Take care. Bye.
Congratulations on this film.
Thank you.
I had the pleasure of actually sitting and chatting and doing a Q&A with Mr. Patterson about it.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really fascinating just hearing his whole experience with it and how he kind of really strove to, for him as an actor, wanted to do something different. For you as a director, what is it you look for when you're thinking about your next project, both in terms of when you're writing it and then when you're coming to direct?
I mean, something that I want to see, really. And yeah, I think like Rob and like Willem, I'm looking for something different and something that other people haven't seen.
Yeah. How would you describe The Lighthouse?
I usually like to say that nothing good happens when 2 men are trapped in a giant phallus. That's but I don't. It's an over-the-top, strange movie.
It's an incredible piece of cinema.
Well, thank you.
It really, it's such a sensual experience. And in terms of kind of
crusty, dusty, rusty, musty, and you can smell it.
you can, but you kind of. I come from a little fishing village, so like you know that kind of that the elements that you sort of show and part of the whole kind of narrative of the story as well are just like yes, I really resonated with a lot of that as well.
Well, thank you. That means a lot.
What does it mean to you in terms of BAFTA and the recognition you get from awards and for things like that as well?
I mean, it's a huge honor, and obviously, when you get a nomination, I'm not nominated, of course. It's Jaron Blaschke, my cinematographer.
Your film is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's our second feature film we've done together. It's my second feature film.
That's
period.
incredible.
It's incredible, and it also helps, more people see the film, and it's a small movie, and so that's great.
When you set your second movie and you get people like Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson who want to be part of it, that's an amazing vote of confidence for you as a filmmaker. It must be, surely.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked when Willem Dafoe wanted to meet with me. Let me tell you, he was a huge hero of mine, yeah, he's amazing. I mean, they're both incredible.
Yeah, but together it's just this special thing. Do you know what I mean? That you, on paper, you kind of go, really? And then when you see them on screen together, it's like, wow, really blows your mind.
Yeah, it's a dangerous chemistry.
Yeah. I'm so excited to see what's next, and I'm so glad.
Me too.
I'm so glad that you're here, and I really wish the film all the best tonight.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much. Great to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Have a good time. Thank you.
It's wonderful to meet you.
Thank you so
and
much.
thank you for Sama. It was the most extraordinary documentary.
Thank you so much.
The fact it resonated with so many people and told a story of hope and heartbreak in equal measure. How did it feel when it was released and it got the reception it did?
So, to be very honest, we've never expected that reception from the people. We thought that the film would be like on one festivals, 2 maximum. We know that we have broadcast on Channel 4, new Channel 4, so we were so happy. But then when the film was released, like everything was like out of what we expect. It's been now like all over the world, so many festivals. We had like 63 awards, 4 BAFTA nominations, so it's really like very overwhelming.
I can imagine.
And give us so much hope that people still like care and think about Syria and about the suffering of the people.
When you were filming it and when you started filming it, had you any idea that it would become, I mean, were your thoughts, I'll take this footage and I'll see what happens with it. It might be a Channel 4 news report, it might be dispatches, it might be, or did you always think to yourself, I think this has the capacity and the power to be a 2-hour documentary?
Yeah, like I was really hoping that this material will be used in a film, but I will never expect that I will be in that film or I will be doing that film. Everything I was like in my mind through all these 5 years that I will be killed in one moment. I need to capture as much as I have from this like material and the life, which for me was like it was amazed me, So like I will capture everything I can and hoping that one day someone outside will take this material and do the film. So that's why, like too much for me, like being here tonight. BAFTA recognized the film in like it's the most like documentary got any nomination before. So like I'm just like so
more documentary nominations than any other documentary, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh man! And is Sama here?
Yes.
There she is.
Sama, do you want to come?
Hey Sama.
Hello.
Hey Sama, how are you?
How are you?
Oh no! Well, what can we do? There's only one thing for that.
Gift.
Oh, we've got this for you, Sama. You're more than welcome. Good luck.
How old are you?
I am
4.
Well, hang on, I need to count these.
We have 4 nominations and she is 4.
2, 3, 4. 4. All right, pop it.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Sama. Talk about Two Popes, how it came about for you. Had you seen the play at all?
No, I didn't even know a play existed until, after we finished the film. I was just concentrating on the film script. And it came to me purely because I look like him. not needed pretty.
You've got a little Papa Francesco about you, but,
I think I'm more Brad Pitt, but there you go. What can I say?
So does Brad Pitt, I'm sure. In terms of filming this kind of meeting that came about and these two kind of, titans of religion, and obviously it's never never happened before that, you know, one pope abdicates. Certainly not.
Yeah, no, 700 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Were you conscious of the fact that both these two guys are still alive, and this is a film that will resonate around a huge
I was very conscious, yeah, and it was a great responsibility. But since we finished it, we've had screenings where people have come from the Vatican to see it, said they like it, and a particular friend of Francis's, Cardinal Turkson, asked for a DVD to take to him because he was convinced he'd like it. So, yeah, it was. It all felt very good, actually, because we were. I mean, we are critical about certain stages of Pope Francis's life, and you know, we also celebrate his good qualities.
Yeah, I think that for me, and I'm a Catholic, for me, it was what I loved about it was how well-rounded it was for both of them.
Yeah.
But Francesco, probably in particular, you know.
Yeah.
It was a great role for you to get your teeth into because it's so nuanced. But the thing that came through for me more than anything else was probably the empathy.
Yeah, great. Well, he was the first pope. I'm not a Catholic, but he's the first pope that I can remember that I felt he's speaking to me. Not necessarily about religion, but about the ills of society and how we need to care for the environment, about the economy, the inequality, and care of the refugees.
But it wouldn't have worked if you didn't paint him with all those nuances and without his history.
No. And his walk. That was very important. I walk like him.
Yeah. Much training for that, or are you just naturally...
No, it's natural. He walks like me. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's very nice to meet you. Thanks.
Lovely to
Thank
see
you.
Yeah. Little Women.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Everything about the film I love, including your entire wardrobe in it, which I want.
Which would look amazing on you.
Well, bless you, that's very kind of you to say so. But there's something really special about you and Greta when you work together. There's a synergy there. There's just something feels and looks so natural to watch. Do you feel that as a, you know, when you work?
Yeah, I feel so lucky that like we've found each other, and you know, it also means that like I'll get jobs from her. So, but I said to her recently, I was like, well, what happens when you do your next job and like I can't be in the next one? I don't know what I'm gonna do when she does her next movie and I'm not in it. I'm gonna be really jealous. I could be like the weird. You could be Barbie. I could be like gawky Barbie.
Irish Barbie.
Irish Barbie, exactly, yeah. Knock off Barbie. Barbie for a discount price. But yeah, she's so special, and you know, I think as we've said to you before, it kind of goes beyond words when we work with each other. It's sort of this understanding that we have about, for us, what seems to be good and what we want to aim towards. So that is really amazing to have that relationship with someone you work with, Stephanie.
Is this your 5th nomination for a BAFTA?
I don't know now.
She's lost
I'd
count.
say it's... No, someone asked me that the other day and they were like, oh, typical. No, it must be the 4th. Wouldn't it be?
I mean, what you're asking?
The Oscars is the 4th.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. You're here every year. You're not keeping count.
Just stay in this spot every year.
Like, tick.
What is next?
I don't know. I did Ammonite last year, which is the thing with Kate Winslet.
Lee Francis.
Francis Lee, yeah. And I think that'll be out at some stage this year, probably in the autumn, I would say. And apart from that, I haven't done anything else. I have French Dispatch, which I'm in for like a second, and that's Wes Anderson's new film.
When are you going to direct?
I'll try and do something soon. This year.
Wicked!
I don't know. Dana, stop!
Okay, stop. Good luck tonight. Thanks. It's so great. I mean, I was just speaking to Alexandre as well about the score as well. I love the film. I wish she'd been nominated for director. I think she so deserved it. But I look forward to see what's next for you and her. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome. Congratulations on The Irishman. Where did you start with Frank's story?
Well, we were working on another story that was about an aging hitman and from California.
A true story?
No, it wasn't a true. It was a fictional story called The Winter of Frankie Machine, and Marty and I had wanted to do this and we finally got it ready to go, set up at the studio, and then he was showing me movies about how he was doing it style-wise and And I said, I have to read this book called I Hear You Paint Houses. And Eric Roth had told me about a couple of years earlier when it came out. And I read it and I said, Marty, we should really read it. You should read it, and we should talk about this book instead of what we're doing, because it's much more what we should be doing. So that's how it started.
Do you think, is that project dead? Because that's a terrific book.
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know if it's dead. I don't know what they're doing with it. I even talked a little bit after about doing it somehow, but that never really went anywhere. They gave me a certain deadline on it, and I was, of course, committed to doing The Irishman, and I don't know what happened to it.
Do you think there are many more of these? I mean, there's so many great stories to tell, especially like through post-war American literature and books, and these kind of figures that either wittingly or unwittingly played such a big part in America. And what I love about American history personally is how growing up here is how tangible and how recent it is. So do you have any more in the locker that you think you'd like to explore?
Say that again.
Sorry, it's a very long question. No, I just think what I loved about the film was this guy kind of post-war America, which is a really interesting time. And in many ways, he's such an inconsequential and quiet figure, and yet he had this incredible impact on history with Hoffa as the backdrop. There must be many more stories in American history like this.
Oh, of course, I'm sure. There are, but and people write books about them. So, the ones that come out, and there are ones that are never told that are great too, I'm sure.
Interviewing Thelma earlier, and she pointed out something that struck me was how quiet this film is comparatively with some of the earlier epics you guys have done. And I guess in many ways so much more powerful because of that.
Well, that's for you, the audience, to tell us, but Marty had done that deliberately. I wasn't aware that he was doing that. He and Rodrigo Prieto and everybody else, the rest of the creative team were doing that, and he was, that's how he wanted to cover it. I was thinking what I'm doing.
But like always with you guys.
Unless when we would do a scene, maybe we'd say I want to do it this or do it in one certain way, and of course then I would, try to fit into that what he was trying to do.
Always with you guys, I always think anyway, for me, less is more. Like I love the scene with the bread and the olive oil, kind of.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Lovely meeting you. Good luck tonight. Thank you.
Thanks.
Congratulations on this film, and also just wonderful to have seen your journey with BAFTA as well. And for you, you've been really supportive though on the other side of things, which I don't think a lot of people know about in terms of giving back.
I hope everyone tries to give back. It's such a journey for everybody to get to where they are, and so many people help you get there that it only feels right to give it back. And BAFTA's been so wonderful and caring to every single person that they find and nurture and look after. So, yeah, they're special.
When you think about making Little Women, what do you think about? What's your lasting memory from making that film?
I think about constantly eating all the set food, always. And I would steal bowls of food that had been prepped and I'd put it in a hiding place. And then I would have the donuts, or I would have, I don't know, the sweeties. It was great.
Did you look back on previous incarnations of your character, or did you avoid that completely?
No. I've seen the film, but I think with everything that I do, I always feel like you own 50% of who that person is, and especially with your adaptation of it. And I feel like, as much as I admire all characters that have been played before me, you've got to bring your own funk to it. So I try not to get confused.
You definitely brought your own funk to it. You nailed it. You absolutely nailed it.
Thanks,
and I can't wait for Black Widow as well. I mean, that trailer is just like
It's pretty nuts.
It's so
pretty
good.
crazy.
So good.
Very excited.
Good luck tonight.
Thanks, babe.
Great to see
Lovely
you.
to see you.
You too. And I'm going to help you down the carpet.
Please do.
Yeah.
Easy sell when you were trying to find.
What's that?
Was it an easy sell when you were trying to find finance for it?
Yeah, it's not the easiest of sells. It's a very hard film to pitch, obviously.
I mean, you try and pitch it to me.
Well, okay, so it's about this kind of misguided young 10-year-old kid growing up in rural Nazi Germany. I'm going to take this somewhere else.
No, it was. I think that the script really spoke for itself. Like, you know, I realised that it was a hard thing to pitch. You know, those ideas of talking about, especially the war and on the side of the Germans. So I realised I should just write the best screenplay I could, and then use that as the pitching tool, really.
Yeah, and I think the fact that I think that the tricky ground is always the Holocaust and you know, and the expulsion of Jews and so forth. And I think that's where, if you don't mind me saying, I think that's where you tread such a fine line, but a brilliant line.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and it was always like, I think when your intentions are always in the right place, you know, it's not a film that was ever designed to shock or to get cheap laughs. The laughs never come for free. Yeah, there's always a point to them, and there's a real point to the film. And I think that we made the film at the right time as well. When I wrote it in 2011, it wouldn't have had, if I'd made it then, it wouldn't have had the relevance or resonance as it does right now, because
globally
the world has changed.
Yeah. And also, for me, it's sticking in Bowie as well as a masterstroke.
So what's that?
Sticking in David Bowie as well as a masterstroke.
Yeah. Well, I wanted it to feel contemporary as well, having contemporary music. Even the dialogue, the way that the kids speak and everyone speaks is very contemporary. Just so that it would feel a little more relatable, and especially for younger audiences. I want young people to see the film.
Do you know, it's funny because my sister said, she called me last week and she said, should I take my niece who's 11? And I just went, yeah, you should. No, and then she came home and I spoke to her and said, what do you think of it? And she said, I loved it. She said, I didn't cry. Said, Mum cried, I didn't cry.
Right, yeah. No, I'm hearing more and more people are taking their kids to see it. And I think we need to challenge children anyway, with what we show them, and you know, I think they're smarter than we give them credit for.
Thanks a lot, mate. Good luck. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Kathleen, can you find Kathleen, can we take a picture, please? Can you hold my hand?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. This is so crazy.
Yeah?
Oh my God. I mean, Florence was just up here, and I know she was nominated like 2 years ago, and now she's here.
And now you're already EE Rising Star.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, it's so cool to kind of see the progression, and it means so much. So I'm just like, amped, you know?
Well, listen, this journey that you're on that we're loving watching, and Waves in particular, was just an extraordinary film and an extraordinary performance. To be recognised, what does it mean to you?
I mean, it's just a huge honor. You know, I come from New Orleans, so to be here in London, this is like my second time here. The first time I was on ES Magazine. I don't know. It's just it's a huge honor to be, I don't know, just amongst all these people. I'm just grateful, you know?
What was that experience of making Waves like? Can you talk a little bit about that? Because it's, you know, in terms of a film that you hear people talking about, it's something that comes up again and again and again, is, you know, in people's top films of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it's an intense movie. It's about family, though, and I think it's so cool that it resonates overseas, you know? Yeah. Trey and I made a movie about our fathers and toxic masculinity and growing and coming of age and not necessarily being a man, but not a boy yet anymore. And how do we heal and forgive each other? So it's a beautiful thing that we can all recognize that universal truth within ourselves.
Oh, I'm so excited to see what you do next as well, and I'm so glad that you're here. Congratulations on the nomination. So real pleasure to meet you, sir.
Well.
Have a great night. Enjoy BAFTAs. Thanks, Kevin. Thank you.
Stephen Parasite, listen, congratulations in advance. You're big winners whatever happens.
Yeah,
this is wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, great. We never expected, but yeah, so excited. Yeah.
When did you find out, and how did you feel when you realized the film was starting to get traction internationally, and these themes that you're writing about aren't necessarily Korean themes particularly, they are themes that resonate around the world?
아니 뭐 깐느 때부터 좋은 일이 있었지만 특히 지금 여기 바프타잖아요, 런던에. 여기 와서 이러고 있으니까 더 실감이 좀 나네요. 네. 형님도 한마디.
So many good things have happened since Cannes, but being here, particularly in London with the BAFTAs now, I truly feel how much this has resonated with the international community.
기생충이 이제 곧 영국에서도 며칠 후에 개봉하죠. 그러니까 더 실감이 나고 드디어 영국 관객분들께도 드디어 기생충이 이제 선보이는 날이 왔구나. 그래서 요즘 와서 영국에 와가지고 더 그렇게 좀 많이 느껴지는 것 같아요.
So Parasite will be released in the UK in a couple of days. So to be here at the BAFTAs, just around the corner when Parasite will be released, we really feel the enthusiasm this film has been garnering.
Your terrific performance, by the way. I mean, absolutely. I was like, to start with, I'm like, do I like this guy? Do I not like this guy? And then I was like, I think I do like this guy.
예. 글쎄요, 뭐 제 디렉터 봉이 너무 훌륭한 캐릭터를 선물을 해주신 것 같아요. 그냥 저는 시키는 대로 그냥 연기했을 뿐입니다. 예.
I truly feel that Director Bong has given me a great present with this character. I only followed his orders.
Yeah, quite right too. And for you, how was it to cast? Did it take a while? Did you have an idea who you wanted to be in the film straight away in terms of the Korean talent available to you?
뭐 이 영화가 이제 두 가족이 나온 얘기잖아요. 패밀리에 대한 얘기니까 조화가 중요했죠. 그래서 전체 어떻게 캐스트들이 조화를 이룰 것인가 하나하나 잘하지만 또 조화도 중요해서 또 우리가 그래서 미국 배우 조합에서 앙상블상도 받았고 그래서 되게 기뻤어요. 우리가 애초에 원했던 바고 그래서. 예.
Because this film is essentially about two families, it was really important to cast actors who form great chemistry while being great actors themselves. So recently we won the Best Ensemble Award at SAG in the US, and so I think that really shows the chemistry between all our actors, and that's what we hoped for.
Listen, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet. How do I say good luck in Korean?
행운을 빌어요.
One more.
행운을 빕니다.
Hang on a bit. That's so quick. He's gone.
Double nominee.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I know. I actually didn't know it could happen.
Well, it can, and you've done it. These are very kind of powerful roles and performances. I guess it's hard to almost differentiate them in a way, or is it?
Well, I mean, the movies and the content are two totally different things, but I think they both kind of achieve the two main things of why I love to do what I do. I love movies, and I feel like in Once Upon a Time I got to really pay homage to the industry itself, and in Bombshell I got to really talk about something I care about. Yeah. And they're pretty much the two things the whole reason I do this job. So
it's amazing to hear in Charlize they'll talk about the kind of dedication to Bombshell and making sure it got made, and the fact that the finance being pulled like literally just before you and kind of it shows how difficult it is to have films made, and you know that from a producer's point of view in terms of the films that you work on.
Yeah, no, look, she's an incredible producer. I mean, everyone who worked on that film, it's a scary thing to have a hurdle like that so close to when you begin, but there was no way any of us were going to pull out. Everyone was completely dedicated to making this and bonded together.
I think Dermot wants to give you some sweets.
Oh, are
you vegan?
About that. I'm not vegan, but I very much encourage the notion. That's wonderful.
Good come, I like it.
I think that's great.
You like a vegan, you get normal.
I couldn't lie right now. It's like there's too many pictures of me getting papped eating hamburgers. I can't lie.
And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I mean, I just think the way that he told that story, and particularly her story, was just so beautiful. It's almost his love letter to her.
Totally. No, you felt the affection in the script. It felt like he just really loved her and wanted everyone to love her for the life she had and not remember her for her death. And I felt that reading that script, and I feel like the response has been that everyone felt that watching it.
What was it like on set working with him? What's he like as a director?
Oh, he's amazing. I mean, he just loves filmmaking, and he does it in like the most old school, like pure way. It's about it's about the film. It's not about any of the other things that might get in the way. He really, really cares. He cares about these characters like they're people. It's unbelievable.
And Harley Quinn's out as well.
Yeah, I know, it's been a big week.
Yeah.
I'm in everyone's faces. I'm sorry. I'll disappear soon.
I think
sorry.
we're all right with that, Margot. It's fine. What's next, though? Do you know what's
I'm still shooting the Suicide Squad film, so
wow.
More Harley to come.
Yes.
Yeah, and
she's a great character.
Yeah, I mean, she's amazing. I could never get bored with Harley, that's for sure. And then after that, another exciting project that I can't yet talk about, but I love working.
We love watching you as well, and I love as well how much you throw your weight behind film as well. It's great to see that. We saw that last year with 2 years ago, right, Tonya? Was that 2 years ago? Oh my God!
2 years ago, yeah.
Wow!
And we just premiered at Sundance a film called Promising Young Woman. I don't star in it; I'm a producer on it. It stars Carey Mulligan and first-time feature director Emerald Fennell, who is a Brit and fantastic, wrote and directed it. So
we'll see you back here next year then.
Things. Yeah. I hope. Wow.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
It's so great you're here, and thank you so much. It's great to see you. Thanks, Margot. See you later.
That's not too bad for her.
Well, that's just about it from the red carpet. Nice red carpet. Soon it's going to be rolled up, taken off, and be recycled, and turn into things like computer screens and the like, with just its memories of tonight deep inside its cortex.
Wow.
A la Millennium Falcon. Deep
It's
stuff,
deep
isn't it?
stuff.
Sustainability's deep.
Wow, you need a break. You need to go inside and get warm.
I will.
Make sure you tune in to watch the ceremony at BBC One at 9 o'clock, and you can also see me interviewing the winners straight after they get their awards on BAFTA's Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Tough job, but someone Scottish has got to do it.
For quotas. We will leave you with the highlights from this year's BAFTA Film Awards red carpet. Cheers for watching, guys. Good night.